It starts the way many modern rumors do. A headline flashes across a screen, a question hangs in the air, and suddenly millions of people are asking the same thing at the same time. Is something wrong? Is there something we are not being told? And in this case, the question is as direct as it is unsettling. A global figure, a person whose every move, every appearance, every word is analyzed, debated, and often amplified far beyond its original context. When someone like that becomes the subject of health speculation, curiosity spreads quickly. But before we get swept up in the momentum of online chatter, it is worth slowing down, because in today's fast-moving digital world, the line between speculation and fact can blur more easily than ever. Let's take a closer look. Public figures, especially those with a strong and polarizing presence, often become the center of intense scrutiny. Every public appearance is examined. Every pause in speech, every shift in posture, every facial expression can spark a wave of commentary. And when it comes to health, even the smallest detail can trigger widespread discussion. In recent times, there has been noticeable public speculation about Donald Trump's well-being. Some reports suggest that viewers have pointed out moments during speeches or appearances that seem different from what they remember. Others have questioned changes in energy levels or tone. These observations, often shared across social platforms, can quickly gain traction, even when they are based on limited or subjective interpretation. It's important to understand something here. Observing someone through a screen is not the same as having verified medical information. Cameras capture moments, not full context. Lighting, angles, audio quality, and even editing can influence how a person appears. What might seem like a significant change could simply be a moment taken out of context. At the same time, it is completely natural for people to be curious about the health of leaders and public figures. History has shown that health can play a role in leadership, decision-making, and public perception. Because of that, audiences tend to pay close attention, especially when someone remains active in the political and public sphere. However, according to available information, there has been no confirmed, credible announcement indicating that Donald Trump is facing a life-threatening condition. Official updates and public appearances continue to present him as actively engaged in his professional and political activities. So, where do these rumors come from? In many cases, speculation grows from a combination of factors. One of them is the nature of the internet itself. Information spreads rapidly, often without full verification. A single post, video clip, or comment can be shared thousands of times within minutes, reaching audiences across the world. As it spreads, the original context can shift, sometimes creating a narrative that feels more certain than it actually is. Another factor is confirmation bias. People tend to notice and remember information that aligns with their existing beliefs. If someone already has a strong opinion about a public figure, they may interpret new information in a way that supports that view. This can unintentionally reinforce speculation, even when the evidence is unclear. And then there is the human element. People are naturally drawn to stories that carry emotional weight. Health concerns, especially involving well-known individuals, tap into something deeply human. They create a sense of urgency, curiosity, and sometimes even concern, regardless of personal opinions about the individual. But here is where things become important. There is a difference between asking a question and declaring an answer. Asking, "Is Donald Trump dying?" can be a starting point for discussion, but presenting speculation as fact without credible evidence can lead to misinformation. And in a world where information moves quickly, misinformation can spread even faster. That is why it is essential to rely on verified sources, official statements, and credible reporting when discussing topics like this. Responsible conversations require careful language. Phrases like "some reports suggest" or "public speculation indicates" help maintain a level of honesty and transparency. Now, let's shift perspective for a moment. Think about the broader picture. Public figures often live under a level of scrutiny that most people will never experience. Their lives are not just their own, they are constantly observed, analyzed, and discussed.
This level of attention can create an environment where even normal human moments are interpreted as something more. A slight stumble in speech could be seen as fatigue. A serious expression might be interpreted as distress. A pause could be read as uncertainty. But in reality, these are things that happen to everyone.
When viewed through the lens of constant attention, ordinary moments can become extraordinary in the eyes of the public. Small details, subtle expressions, simple actions, all of it can be magnified, analyzed, reinterpreted in ways that go far beyond what was originally there. And in that process, something normal can begin to feel unusual. Something routine can start to feel significant. And that brings us to an important question, a question that goes beyond the surface. Why do rumors like this matter so much? Why do they spread so quickly? And why do people pay attention to them? Because they shape perception, and perception is powerful. It influences how people think, how they react, how they talk to others. Perception influences opinion. Opinion influences conversation, and conversation can influence larger narratives, narratives that grow over time, that gain strength through repetition, that begin to take on a life of their own. When a rumor gains enough momentum, when enough people repeat it, discuss it, question it, it can start to feel real, even when there is no solid evidence behind it, even when the foundation is uncertain. This is not just about one individual. It is not limited to one person or one situation. It is about something much broader. How we, as a global audience, process information in the modern age, how quickly we react, how easily we accept, how often we pause or don't. Now here is where the story takes an interesting turn, because even in the absence of confirmed information, even when there are no verified facts supporting a claim, the conversation itself becomes meaningful. It reveals something deeper, something about human behavior, something about attention, something about connection. It shows how connected people feel to public figures, how invested they become, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even personally. Whether that connection is positive, or critical, or somewhere in between, it highlights the emotional investment that audiences carry, the way people respond, the way they interpret, the way they form opinions based on limited information. And it reflects the power of media, not just traditional media, but digital media as well. Social platforms, online discussions, comment sections, all of it contributes, and how they respond. At this point, you might be wondering, if there is no confirmed evidence of a serious health issue, why does the question continue to surface? Why does it keep coming back? The answer lies in repetition, a simple concept, but a powerful one. When a question is asked often enough, when it appears again and again across different platforms in different forms, it starts to feel familiar, and familiarity has an effect. It lowers resistance. It creates a sense of recognition. And when something feels familiar, it can begin to feel credible, even if nothing new has been proven, even if the facts haven't changed. This is a psychological effect, one that has been observed in many areas of communication. Repetition can create a sense of truth, a feeling of certainty, even when the underlying information remains unclear, unverified, or incomplete. That is why it becomes so important to pause, to take a step back, to reflect before accepting or sharing information. Because in fast-moving conversations, it's easy to react, easy to assume, easy to pass something along without thinking. But taking a moment to ask a simple question, where is this coming from, can make a significant difference. It can change how you interpret what you see, how you respond, and whether you choose to engage with it at all. Now, let's talk about the present moment. Donald Trump continues to appear in public settings. He continues to deliver speeches, attend events, engage with audiences, remain active in public life. These are visible actions, observable moments, things that people can see directly. And these activities suggest ongoing participation, ongoing presence. While it is always possible for individuals to experience changes over time, as anyone can, there is currently no verified indication that supports the claim implied by the question in our title. No confirmed evidence, no official statement, no reliable source pointing in that direction. And yet, the question itself remains powerful because it invites thought, it invites curiosity, it invites discussion.
not just about one person, but about something bigger, about how we interact with information, how quickly narratives can form, how easily speculation can spread, and how difficult it can be to separate what is known from what is assumed. So the next time you come across a headline that makes you pause, something that catches your attention immediately, take a moment, look a little deeper, ask yourself where the information is coming from, what supports it, what doesn't. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. Share what you think, what you've noticed, what your perspective is. And if you enjoy thoughtful, in-depth explorations like this, content that looks beyond the surface, that asks deeper questions, don't forget to like the video and stay connected for more. Because conversations like this don't end here. They evolve, they grow, they continue. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep looking beyond what's immediately visible.